Do you know why remarrying after 70 often sparks more regret than joy? If you're over 70 and considering walking down the aisle again, this video could be the most eye-opening thing you watch today. At first, remarriage feels like a golden ticket to happiness, a fresh start. But what if I told you that for many older adults, it can morph into a whirlwind of stress, loss, and heartache? The reality is, once you hit your 70s, the stakes of remarriage shift dramatically, and what seems like love can quickly spiral into financial chaos, emotional strain, or even legal nightmares. This isn't about raining on your parade or being cynical, it's about being smart, prepared, and safeguarding the life you've worked so hard to create. Maybe someone's nudging you toward marriage, or maybe you're just craving companionship. That's totally understandable. But before you say, "I do," again, you need to hear these hard truths too many seniors uncover when it's already too late. This video isn't here to scare you, it's here to empower you to make the wisest, most thoughtful choice for your future. So, if you've ever wondered whether remarriage in your later years is truly a good move, stick with me, because the final reason might completely flip how you view love, trust, and independence after 70. Number 1. Financial vulnerability. At first, love in your 70s feels like a gift, someone to share meals with, laugh with, and fill those quiet moments. But what many don't see coming is how remarriage can unravel your financial security faster than you'd ever imagine. You've spent decades building your nest egg, your pension, your savings, your home. One signature, one trip down the aisle, and it could all be at risk. Not because your new partner is scheming, but because marriage legally ties your assets together. If your new spouse comes with debt, medical bills, or even kids from a previous marriage with their own expectations, you're suddenly tangled in their financial world, whether you signed up for it or not. Many seniors think they can keep things separate, but the system doesn't always play that way. Remarriage can wipe out your eligibility for certain retirement benefits, survivor benefits, or Medicaid programs. I've seen cases where a woman lost her late husband's Social Security benefits after remarrying, leaving her with far less income than she planned for. She didn't even know it would happen until the check stopped. Then there's inheritance. You might have adult kids or grandkids you've planned to leave your legacy to, but without airtight legal planning, remarriage can redirect those assets to your new spouse or their family. Even if you trust your partner, relationships shift, families clash, and promises break. Before you know it, your legacy slips away. The emotional toll of this kind of financial loss hits hard. Seniors who feel financially unstable often feel powerless, anxious, or even ashamed. They might hide their struggles from their kids out of embarrassment or try to sweep the issue under the rug entirely. The independence they fought for starts to crumble, and the marriage that promised joy becomes a daily reminder of loss. Take Ellen, for example. At 74, she married a kind man from her church group. Both widowed, they found solace in each other. But what Ellen didn't know was that her new husband had hefty medical debt and no savings. Within 2 years, she was dipping into her retirement fund to keep him afloat, and her kids were heartbroken when they learned she'd revised her will under pressure. What started as love turned into quiet financial panic. In your 70s, financial stability isn't just about money, it's about peace, dignity, and living life on your terms. Remarriage might bring emotional warmth, but the financial fallout can be staggering. If you've got a roof over your head, food on the table, and a plan for your future, take a deep breath before saying, "I do," again. Your heart might be all in, but make sure your wallet isn't screaming, "Please, don't." Number 2, health responsibility overload. When you remarry after 70, you're not just sharing your heart, you're signing up for someone else's health journey, whether you realize it or not. At this stage, health isn't just a side note, it's the main event, every single day. You've likely spent your life caring for others, kids, a spouse, maybe even aging parents. Now, when you're finally ready to focus on yourself, remarriage can pull you right back into caregiver mode. Let's be real, by your 70s, you're probably already juggling your own doctor visits, medications, or dietary needs. Maybe you're dealing with arthritis, high blood pressure, or diabetes. Those aren't small things, they take energy. Now imagine adding another person's medical needs to your plate, someone who might have even more complex issues. Suddenly, you're not just managing your own health, but there's more appointments, more medications, more emotional weight. It might start small, they forget their pills, or they need help getting out of bed. But over time, that little help can become round-the-clock care, draining you physically and emotionally. What was meant to be companionship starts to feel like a burden you never saw coming. Here's the kicker: studies show older caregivers often neglect their own health. They skip checkups, eat poorly, sleep less, and become isolated, all because they're pouring everything into someone else. Their own body and spirit quietly fade. That's exactly what happened to Patricia, a woman I met at a senior community center. She remarried at 76, and at first, it was a dream. Her new husband was charming and funny. But within a year, he had a minor stroke, and suddenly Patricia was lifting him, bathing him, and managing his therapy schedule, all while ignoring her own knee pain and worsening vision. By the time she sought help, she was exhausted, depressed, and on the brink of collapse. Her spark dimmed, not because of love, but because of unspoken expectations. Here's the hard truth: you can't pour from an empty cup. At this stage, your energy is sacred, it must be protected. Remarriage might promise happiness, but without clear boundaries, it can become a health responsibility you didn't sign up for. So before you say, "I do," again, ask yourself, am I ready to take on another person's healthcare needs, today, tomorrow, and every day after? If you hesitate even slightly, honor that feeling. Your well-being matters just as much as anyone else's, maybe even more now than ever. If you're finding these insights helpful, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're with me. And if you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support fuels us to keep creating content to inform and inspire you. Let's keep going. Number 3, legal complications. One of the sneakiest dangers of remarriage after 70 isn't emotional, it's legal. Many seniors don't realize that tying the knot later in life can weave a web of financial and legal tangles that impact not just you, but your kids and even your grandkids. Let's talk inheritance first. You've spent a lifetime building a legacy, a home, a pension, savings, maybe some cherished heirlooms. You've got your beneficiaries set, your will written, everything planned. But remarriage can shake that up in an instant. In many states, a new spouse has legal rights to a chunk of your estate, even if your will says otherwise. That means your kids could get less, or worse, end up in legal battles after you're gone. It doesn't stop there. Remarriage can mess with your Social Security benefits, especially if you're receiving survivor benefits from a late spouse. Many women who were married for decades qualify for these benefits, which provide steady income. But remarriage, even one rooted in companionship, can reduce or erase those benefits. That's money you were counting on, gone with a new marriage certificate. Then there's the issue of medical decisions and power of attorney. If you face an accident, illness, or sudden hospitalization, your new spouse might automatically become your legal decision-maker, even if your kids know your wishes better or are better equipped to handle things. If your kids and new partner don't get along, the fallout can be devastating. Take Carol, 81, who faced this nightmare. She married a man she met at church, thinking they'd just be companions in their later years. But when she fell ill, her new husband had legal authority to make decisions her daughter fiercely disagreed with. They ended up in court, fighting not just over medical choices but over the house Carol meant to pass to her grandkids. "I thought I was finding comfort," Carol said, "but I created a mess I never intended." Many older women, especially those who've built a secure life, don't want to think about legalities when love or loneliness is at play. But that's exactly when you need to think clearly. Remarriage isn't just a personal choice, it's a legal contract with far-reaching effects. At this stage, clarity is your superpower. It's not unromantic to ask tough questions, it's wise, and it's loving, for yourself and the family who's been with you for decades. If you value your legacy, your peace, and your family's well-being, don't underestimate the legal complexities of remarriage. What feels like a fresh start can sometimes lead to chaos you never saw coming. Number 4, loss of personal freedom. By your 70s, you've earned something more valuable than money or titles: your freedom. The freedom to wake up when you want, eat what you love, and live life on your terms. You've spent decades caring for others, following rules, making sacrifices. Now is supposed to be your time. But remarriage can quietly steal that freedom, sometimes faster than you'd believe. When you marry young, compromise is part of the package. You're building a life together. But in your 70s, your routines, habits, and preferences are set. You know what brings you peace, keeps you healthy, and makes you happy. Bringing someone new into that carefully crafted rhythm can feel more like a disruption than a joy. Let's be honest, at this age, most people are set in their ways, and that's okay, you've earned it. But living with someone new means giving up some of that structure. Maybe your partner loves the TV blaring all day while you savor quiet mornings with your coffee and newspaper. Or they want 3 big meals while you're happy with your light, simple routine. These differences seem small but pile up fast, chipping away at your patience and turning your peaceful home into a place of subtle tension. Then there's the emotional labor of any close relationship: listening, adapting, explaining. You might find yourself spending more time managing their emotions, coordinating plans, or navigating their family dynamics than doing what lights you up. Your hobbies get sidelined, your alone time feels like something you need permission for, and the independence you treasured starts slipping away. Take Florence, a 76-year-old widow who remarried after 5 years alone. At first, she loved the company, shared dinners, park walks, late-night chats. But soon, she realized she'd lost her quiet mornings, her solo trips, even control over the thermostat. "I didn't mind compromise when I was younger," she told me, "but now, every change feels like a piece of me is gone." This doesn't mean companionship is bad or that love fades with age. But it does mean you have to ask, are you truly ready to trade your freedom for shared decisions? At this stage, peace and personal space can be worth more than partnership. Some say love requires sacrifice, and maybe it does. But in your 70s, you've already sacrificed plenty. You deserve relationships that honor your pace, your comfort, your freedom, not ones that ask you to give it all up again. If these insights are resonating, comment number 4 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed, hit that button and turn on the bell to stay in the loop. Your support keeps us creating content to inform and inspire you. Let's move on. Number 5, financial entanglement. Remarrying after 70 might bring emotional warmth, but financially, it can open the door to stress, confusion, and long-term vulnerability. In your 30s or 40s, merging finances makes sense, you're building a future together. But in your 70s, you're not building, you're protecting what you've earned over a lifetime. Remarriage can quietly unravel decades of that work. Let's be clear, money in later life isn't just numbers in a bank account, it's your security, your independence, your choices. When you remarry, your financial world doesn't just grow, it merges. Your assets, social security, pensions, even debts, can become shared, depending on how the marriage is structured. Without every detail planned out in writing beforehand, you risk losing control. Here's where it gets tricky: what if your new spouse has kids from a previous marriage? If something happens to you, will your money go to your children or theirs? Without updated wills, prenups, or clear estate plans, you could leave behind a legal mess that fractures the family you love. Or picture this: you've paid off your home and live comfortably on your savings. But your new spouse brings unpaid debt or financial habits that don't match yours. Maybe they lend money to their kids or rack up credit card bills. Suddenly, your nest egg is vulnerable. One shared account, one signature, and your carefully built foundation can crack. I once met Gerald, 82, who remarried after losing his first wife. He didn't think much about finances, believing love would sort it out. But within 2 years, he was paying his new wife's medical bills, supporting her adult son, and selling the vacation home he'd planned to pass to his daughter. "I just wanted company," he said, "but I ended up giving away half my life." Remarriage isn't always a financial minefield, but without clear planning, honest talks, and legal safeguards, your finances could be at greater risk than you realize. In your 70s, you don't have the same room for error you once did. So ask yourself, do I have the energy, clarity, and time to navigate a complex financial merger? Am I ready to protect not just my heart, but my estate, my legacy, and the people I care about? If you're even slightly unsure, pause, reflect, and get guidance before making such a permanent choice. At this stage, you deserve security, not stress. Remarriage can be beautiful, but only if it doesn't cost you your financial peace. Final thoughts. By your 70s, you've weathered storms most can't even imagine: love, loss, sacrifice, joy, silence, and laughter. With every passing year, you learn to value life not for what you can gain, but for what you no longer need to carry. That's why remarriage at this stage isn't just about companionship, it's a deeply personal choice about how you want to spend your most precious years. Maybe you're thinking, "I'm lonely. I want someone to grow old with." That's a real, valid feeling. Connection always matters. But here's the truth: companionship doesn't have to mean marriage. It can come from deep friendships, family bonds, community, or even within yourself. The kind of connection that feeds your soul doesn't always need a wedding ring. Society tells us being partnered means being whole, but what if you're already complete? What if your time now is about rediscovering yourself, finding joy in your own company, and living without needing to explain or adjust to someone else's mold? That's not loneliness, that's liberation. I've talked to many older women who remarried and later admitted they missed their independence, their peace, their freedom. Some wished they'd paused to ask what they truly wanted, not what society expected. Because after 70, you don't owe anyone a performance. You've proven your worth just by being here. So before you say, "I do," again, say, "I deserve." You deserve ease, joy, and rest in the life you choose. Remarriage might bring that, or it might not. The key is to choose from a place of self-trust, not self-doubt. Thank you for joining me today. I'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below sharing one thing you learned and how you'll use it in your life. Your thoughts mean the world to us and keep us motivated. If this video resonated, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us keep creating content to inform and inspire you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.